Who stole Vermeer? What curse plagues Monet, and what was the value of the missing Picasso? Humanity has lost, damaged, or destroyed thousands of artworks throughout history. But some stories are criminal, mysterious, or just curious and are worth telling. So, 5 lost works of art. Number 5. Jan Vermeer's The Concert. In 1663, in 1990, the largest theft in United States history was committed. On March 18th morning, 2 thieves in police uniforms broke into the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. After tying up the guards, they spent 81 minutes in the museum, leisurely moving from room to room and carefully selecting works of art, none of which were connected to the alarm system, which they obviously knew in advance. The cunning thieves stole 13 paintings, including Jan Vermeer's The Concert. Jan Vermeer and Rembrandt are regarded as leading artists of the Dutch Golden Age. The artist always worked very thoughtfully, almost like those thieves. That's why he created only 36 paintings in his entire life. Every one of his paintings is priceless. Actually, they're worth several tons of gold. The stolen concerto is worth at least $250 million, with the total theft at $1 billion. A $5 million reward was immediately offered for the paintings, but the canvases seemed to vanish into thin air. Among the suspects were criminal syndicates, Irish Republican Army militants, and mysterious wealthy collectors who allegedly commissioned the theft. The thieves hid for 13 years and only tried to sell the paintings in 2013 when they were quickly caught. It turned out that a criminal syndicate specializing in art thefts was responsible for the crime. Unfortunately, among the recovered paintings, The Concert was not found and its whereabouts are still unknown. Most likely, it was sold to a collector who will never be able to show the painting to the world, and it will remain stored in some secret vault in his mansion. 4th place, artist Picasso, 1963. September 2nd, 1998 is a sad date for everyone who loves the work of Pablo Picasso. On this day, a plane took off from New York to Geneva and crashed, falling into the Atlantic Ocean. There were 229 people on board, all perished. There were also 50 kilograms of cash on board, more than a kilogram of diamonds and several kilograms of other valuables, as well as a painting by Picasso called The Artist. The search took 15 months. All the passengers were found at the bottom of the ocean, but surprisingly, neither the money, nor the valuables, nor the Picasso painting were among the items recovered. The reasons for the tragedy are ridiculous. A new entertainment system was installed in business class, where you could watch a movie recorded on videotape and broadcast to all passengers at the same time. We're used to this now, but back then it was something revolutionary and new. As usual, new things aren't fully tested yet. The system control panel, which was located in the cockpit, caught fire and disabled all the instruments, causing the plane to go into a dive and crash into the ocean. It seems amazing, but after the crash, they found everything except the most valuable things. Diamonds, jewels, and the Picasso disappeared as if they had sunk through the water. The Picasso painting was transported in a plain wooden frame, not a special container. It was later discovered that it wasn't exactly a painting, but a collotype print, a method of reproducing paintings. Picasso signed a blank canvas, which was later used for the print rather than signing the finished painting. Such prints are not highly valued, usually worth only a few tens of thousands of dollars. However, the cargo was valued at $1.5 million, and the owner got the full insurance payout. Unfortunately, we'll never know how much this painting would be worth today. If the painting couldn't survive in the water, where did the jewels go? I suspect someone helped them vanish. What do you think? 3rd place. The Unloved Portrait of Churchill by Sutherland, 1954. The British Prime Minister was quite a complex and unpredictable person. For his 80th birthday, House of Commons members commissioned a portrait of the politician, and not just to anyone, but to Graham Vivian Sutherland, who at that time was considered one of the leading contemporary artists in Britain. Sutherland began working while Churchill posed. Sutherland said he aimed to depict Churchill as a rock. "There are so many Churchills. I need to find the real one," he said. The artist intended to depict the politician as a lion in a hopeless situation, symbolizing his role in World War II. The artist was warned that Churchill might not like it, but he didn't listen to the advice, just like all talented artists. A week before the presentation, Churchill was shown the portrait, and he was horrified. "I look like a drunk who has been pulled out of a ditch on the Strand," he exclaimed, and made his wife promise that the painting would never see the light of day. The portrait was brutally honest, showing a weary old man burdened by his country's fate. But Churchill did not want to be an ordinary man, and he wasn't one. Modern critics believe that this painting was the best of all the portraits of the famous politician, but unfortunately it was hidden in the basement of Churchill's mansion, away from prying eyes. For some time, the fate of the painting was unknown, but in 1964, information surfaced that Churchill's wife had burned the painting. So the painting Churchill passionately hated wouldn't be seen by future generations. This incident outraged the community and raised the question, does even the owner of a painting have the right to destroy works of art since they are our common heritage? What do you think? Comment below. Second place, Mississippi Panorama. John Banvard, 1840. The artist John Banvard was famous for creating monumental paintings, and like all monumentalists, he had one obsession: to create the largest painting in the world. Well, or at least in Kentucky. In 1840, he began a boat trip on the Mississippi. He sketched in every interesting place and made a living painting and hunting. After returning to his hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, he combined all the sketches and transferred them onto canvas in a building specially constructed for this purpose. The result was a massive canvas, 3.6 meters high and 370 meters long. But that still felt inadequate, so he extended the canvas to 800 meters. They advertised, exaggerating by claiming the canvas was 3 miles long. After all, who's going to come and measure it with a tape measure? But the canvas size worked against him. For transportation, it had to be cut into pieces. The canvas traveled almost all over the country, but gradually, one piece after another disappeared. They were damaged, lost, and of course, stolen. At first, they tried to replace the missing pieces, but they disappeared much faster than they could be restored. Although transportation costs fell, the canvas spectacle suffered increasingly. Eventually, reassembling the canvas became impossible. The rest were removed, and none have survived to this day. As you can see, lost luggage was an issue long before airplanes. And first place goes to Water Lilies, Claude Monet. The painting Water Lilies by Claude Monet seemed to be cursed from the very beginning. Everywhere it ended up, a fire would soon break out. The first to suffer from fire was the artist himself. He threw a loud party to celebrate finishing the painting. As a result, a fire nearly destroyed his studio. Only a few paintings were saved, including the Lilies. Soon the Lilies were bought by cabaret owners in Montmartre, and a month later the venue also caught fire. The cabaret was nearly destroyed, but the Lilies were saved again. A year later, the painting was acquired by the famous patron and collector Otto Schmitz, and soon, right where the Lilies were hanging in the patron's office, another fire broke out. Schmitz's mansion was badly damaged. But the ill-fated Lilies once again survived in a mysterious way. In 1958, the New York Museum of Modern Art bought the painting. The painting's ominous reputation was known to the curators, and just in case, they installed a fire protection system and assigned a guard to the painting. But even that didn't help, because 4 months later, another fire struck the building. The guard died, and this time the painting was badly damaged as well. Now MoMA promises to restore the painting with the help of National Aeronautics and Space Administration and nanotechnology. But I think they won't be in a hurry. I have a feeling I know a couple of places where we could hang the fire lilies after restoration. How about you? It was interesting. Subscribe, there will be more.